Boris Johnson has turned up the pressure on the EU this evening after MPs voted to restore controversial clauses to the Brexit internal market bill. In the House of Commons, MPs voted in favour of reinstating clauses to the bill after rejecting series of amendments by the House of Lords. The legislation, which contains sections to give ministers the power to break international law, aims to protect trade between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK if there is no formal trade deal with the EU. MPs voted on a series of amendments tabled by peers, the most significant being Clause 47 relating to customs arrangements and state aid in Northern Ireland. It was passed by 357 to 268, a majority of 89 votes in Parliament. A formal vote was not required to reinsert clauses 42, 43, 44, 45 and 46 after they were previously removed by peers. In another vote, MPs rejected an amendment, by a majority of 94, to make changes to the so-called common frameworks. The Internal Market Bill will now return to the House of Lords for a second time. The EU argues the bill undermines parts of the Northern Ireland Protocol signed in the Brexit withdrawal agreement in January. Under the terms of the bill, it would give the UK government the power to unilaterally determine which goods are at risk of entering the EU single market and therefore require export declarations. Before the vote, the government offered an olive branch to the EU and said it would be prepared to remove the clauses relating to Northern Ireland and state aid. Earlier, Business Minister Paul Scully explained the government wants to retain these clauses in their current form in the bill until discussions with the EU have successfully concluded. Speaking to MPs, he said, since these clauses were originally introduced, the UK and EU have worked constructively together through the Withdrawal Agreement Joint Committee discussions, which continue to progress and final decisions are expected in the coming days. I can confirm today that if the solutions being considered in those discussions are agreed, the UK government would be prepared to remove Clause 44 from this bill, concerning export declarations. The UK government would also be prepared to deactivate clauses 45 and 47, concerning state aid, such that they could be based only when consistent with the United Kingdom's rights and obligation under international law.